Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday Wellness, ladies. I hope everyone is doing well. It's around 5:30 here in New York City. And today I wanted to talk about a topic that's kind of like interesting because it's not really related to digestive issues directly. It's more related towards our mind and our ability to stay true to what we want, to our goals, and to keep a consistent, balanced lifestyle. And this integrates pretty well with the digestion issues that we might have, because if you're like me, for instance, everything that happens to me emotionally, most of the thoughts that I have, whether it is of happiness or being stressed out, they all reflect on my stomach. They all do. And so if you're not like me, I'm sure if it doesn't reflect on your stomach, I'm sure it reflects in your maybe your skin, maybe in the way in the body, maybe in your you get stress, and it's like muscle pains. So everyone has a different way to kind of like deal with stress. But for me, it's specifically my gut. So today, is there anybody out there watching? I saw a couple of people that joined, but then I think I lost you guys. If you are, please like the video or comment so that I know who's watching. Okay, so really the topic of the thought today, it's called Recapturing Our Spark. And the reason why it is recapturing our spark is because our spark or our motivation, it's really within us. And a lot of times we just forget and we just say, you know what, I'm not motivated enough, I can't do this, I'm gonna let it go. And the truth is, it's really up to us to acknowledge this and to really own ourselves, raise our standards, and really make things happen. So I want to give you 4 tips, 4 tricks where you can actually regain your spark, connect to that real person that you really are deep down. You know that the different values that you have, and you can bring that whether you are at a party, whether you are coming back from work and you're super busy and stressed out. So these are a couple of tips that I use. Somebody's watching. Hi, I don't know who that is. Let me know if you can comment. I'm gonna try to see it here on my phone, or just like the video so that I can see who's watching. So for those of you who don't know, I've done the Mastery University with Tony Robbins. And Tony Robbins is essentially one of the biggest and most important motivators, not motivators, but I don't know how to explain it. He's just a very incredible guy that whenever you listen to him, he tells it like it is. And he just, at least to me, gives me the thought process of, geez, if there's so many people out there that can do something, why is it that I can't? So it's not a motivational speaker, it's just a very inspiring soul. So I've done trainings with him, and what I wanted to talk to you guys about has to do, and it's related to some of the teachings that he has. So the first thing that he talks in one of his seminars is that the human beings have 6 basic needs. And 6 basic needs, the reason I'm going to tie it all together at the end, but keep them in mind if you can. The first one will be significance. The second one is variety or surprises. The third one will be connection or love. 4th one will be growth. The 5th one will be contribution. And the last one is, I always forget the last one. Give me 1 second here. And the last one is the opposite of variety, is stability. And so what we need to do is really find out what of those 6 needs are the ones that really move us. So for instance, I realized through going through different seminars, but as well going through a lot of questionings and answers about myself and a lot of self-discovery, I realized that for me, the most important things are love and contribution. and love or connection and contribution. And before, I was more into the significance and variety type of needs. So I will do anything to be like, oh, yeah, like you're great, like to be recognized, to be great at my work, to be great at whatever it is that I was doing. And that's fine, but my motivation was mostly to get recognition from people. And so I realized that that wasn't really matching the person that I wanted to become and my motives to do certain things. And so I realized that what I'm really looking for is connection and it's love. And so by working 24/7 to get significance, I'm really not connecting and not sharing the love with the people that I need, with my family. So then I move love, even love. And love, when I talk about love, it could be with other people, also love for ourselves, right? Love to who we really are. And so that's the number one need for me now. And also contribution. I realize that it makes me really happy to share and to help people wherever I can, and really do it from a perspective of, this is what I have to offer. I hope it's helpful, and really don't expect anything in return. And so those are the two needs that I'm now working on. And in the past, it was significance, and like I said before, it was variety. So for me, I needed to do something different every day, and that was what motivated me. And then I changed. I realized that what really brings me happiness that is sustainable, it's contribution. So after you decide those two, and I'm going to give you an example. Significance is that basically when you need to be recognized, and when you need to your ego needs to get stroked. And if that's one of your needs, that's perfectly fine, but it's good to identify it. Variety is what I mentioned. It's really changing your work, doing something different, maybe dating different people. If that's what you're looking for in your life, variety, then you need to identify it. If contribution is your thing, that means volunteering, giving to certain charity, just helping others, that's contribution. And then we have growth. So if you are always looking to learn something and get better, that will be one of your needs. When it comes to stability, if for you it is important to have a stable kind of life, like being in a relationship, having a partner, just having security, then that will be one of your first needs. And then the last one that I mentioned, it's love or connection. So if for you it is important to be connected to people, to talk to people, to feel the love, not only to people but also to yourself, then that will be your sixth need. So once we have identified what is it that moves you, we can apply that to all of the aspects of our lives. Who's watching? I see one person. Hello. If you can like the video or just comment so that I can see you. Okay, so once we have identified what are the things that actually move us, we can apply that to different aspects of our lives. So in this case, when it comes to digestion, when it comes to taking care of ourselves, the way I think about it is, if my value is to love myself, then I know that is my first priority in everything that I do. And I take that very seriously. For instance, if for you is significance, which was for me when I did the marathon back then, which was like, oh, great, you did the marathon, whatever. For me, that was what was driving me. So waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, I was motivated to get the significant. And so I exercised, I ate healthy. So that was my main focus. So if that's you, find something that can keep you in track and it can keep you motivated and addresses that need. So it could be signing up for a 5K so that you can get recognition, even for yourself. Sign up for a challenge where you're, supposed to lose weight, and that will keep you in track. And so again, it's just that idea of finding whatever it is that is addressing that need from a healthiness perspective. If your thing is variety, if you need to be surprised every time, if you need to have that, for you to feel alive, you need to try different cuisines. So make that a priority, but do it with the health and with the digestion consciousness in mind. So yeah, let me explore foods, but then let me try to explore foods that are really healthy for me. So it could be mixing up things with bok choy, like I mentioned, or different greens, or trying out different restaurants that are more healthy oriented. But keep it going, keep it interesting, keep it different, so that you know that you're addressing that need and that you can stick to that plan. For me, it was doing challenges. So with my workouts, I will get bored. And so when I had that need, that I knew that I needed variety, then I would sign up for CrossFit, and I would sign up for yoga, and I would sign up for different things. Now my needs have changed and they have shifted, and I'm in a place where it's everything that I do is based on love for myself and others, and based on contribution. So if I'm doing, let's say I'm going to be running, I'm not going to be running for myself. I'm going to probably get a group and try to motivate other people and do a 5K, which is something that I want to do with you, who's here in Jersey. So those are the things that motivate me, and those are the things that keep me in track. How do I use it on a daily basis? As following, and I'm going to give you a quick example. And please, the exercise here is really write down what are your 2 needs, most important needs, why, and then what are the things that you can do to keep yourself motivated based on those 2 needs. Again, I'm going to give the example of myself. Yesterday, for instance, client meetings the whole day. So I knew that on Monday I was feeling terrible. I started by eating a bad breakfast, and that was just, it just went really bad after that. But Tuesday I said, you know what? This is my new life. I'm going to see clients every day. I got to entertain every day. So I got to stay focused on my values. And not only that keeps me motivated, but also keeps me true to myself and keeps me living on a path where I'm not deviating, kind of like just to please other people. And so yesterday, for instance, Tuesday, I knew that, okay, so we are having breakfast with clients. What's on the table? Bagels and muffins and cream cheese, which is super bad for you. And I'm like, no, I'm going to hold it. I love myself and I know how bad I'm going to feel. This is not for me. So I did not touch that. And it was a very stressful meeting. I had lots of clients that we were pitching different things. So then it comes to lunch. I said, you know what? We're a Mexican place in New York, amazing, beautiful, super expensive. What did I get? Rice and beans. Honestly, I didn't want anything spicy. I didn't want any crazy sauces that had things that it was too much for me. I didn't want to have anything with lemon because that causes me to have an acidic reaction. So, you know what? It was always about putting myself first and saying, you know what, this is what I need to eat. Rice and beans, baby. Rice and beans. Keep it simple. Everyone was looking at me like, what? And so the only thing that I had to do is, honestly, I really have issues with myself, with my digestive issues, and it's just not worth it for me to try the other things. And even though the other things look delicious, if you keep that in mind, why you're doing things and what are the motivations behind your actions, then it'll be an easier decision to make. And then it came to nighttime. I was home early. I was able to cook delicious eggplant lasagna. And honestly, it was a very stressful day, but I didn't have any of the stuff that I know are bad for me. And that's what kept me motivated. And just to give you a couple of other examples that I do, because once I have my values established, which you will have as well if you do the exercise, then it's easy for me to get back into that phase where before eating, because I'm super hungry, before going to the party and then people offering alcohol and everyone just putting pressure on me, I always try to look back and think about what are the things that are moving me and what are my needs and how am I addressing them. And so that's the first tip that I wanted to share with you. And then the second tip, it's just basically what I try to do every day. And it is really sitting down. It's really sitting down and thinking about what is the healthiest version of myself. Like, was there a time where I felt so great? Like yesterday, I felt great. Was there a time that I felt great where I woke up, had my tea, had my probiotics and my supplements, went to the gym or run, went to work, ate the right foods, and then at night I practiced my practice, and then towards the end I felt great? I try to picture that and I try to grasp how it felt. I'm sure you've had days where you've had that too. And I'm sure there are periods of your life where you're like, oh my God, I really can do this. I can be healthy. I've lost the weight. And if that's the case, then you have to try to keep that in mind. With my clients, with my little by little clients, I usually ask them to please send me a picture of the healthiest of how would you be if you would be portraying your healthiest self. Some people send me Salma Hayek. Some people send me a picture that they see of themselves back when they were feeling great about themselves. And that's what I'm going to ask from you. Just find a picture, find something that inspires you so that it pulls you. And this is the motivation for you to become better. But find it, because the human mind works like this. If we can see it, then we know it could happen. And so that's what I'm going to ask from you guys. A second tip, find your healthiest self. Send it to me, send a picture, and then I can definitely keep you accountable. Because if this is where you want to go, by picturing it, by keeping it in mind, by reliving the feelings that you had where you felt that way, it is easier to stay motivated, specifically in times where there are parties or in times where craziness has happened. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk to you guys is it's about really letting go. So if put a time where you know that you're going to have that party and you know you're going to eat and you know you're not going to feel well after, but be okay with it and talk nicely to yourself, be compassionate about yourself, because at the end of the day, we're not perfect. And so it's better for us to be like, you know what, that day I'm going to eat certain things and I know I'm not going to feel well, but I'm only going to eat it if I feel like it, because that's the other problem that we have. It's like, oh my God, it's my cheat day. And then you will eat everything that's in front of you because it's that day. No, allow yourself the ability to consciously ask, do I want to eat this? Does it fit with my values? Does it fit with the healthiest self, the healthiest person, or the healthiest vision that I have for myself? If it does, then eat it. If it doesn't, but you still want to eat it, but be conscious about the aftermath and about what can happen. And once you feel bad, once you see your skin, then write down how you feel. Like I used to do this when I used to get super drunk. Now, oh my goodness, my birthday, some of you guys remember, I wrote down how bad I felt the day after. And that was the last day I got drunk, because it was so bad. I just remember the face of my friends and my husband being like, what the hell did you do? Like, why did you do that? That's not you. And that's it. That's all it took for me to be like, I'm not doing this again. And so I went into a whole other situation that I had to go through. But again, it's just a matter of really writing down how you feel after when you do something that you know it's not you, and that you can relive those moments so that it doesn't happen again. So those are my 3 tips today on really how to try to stay motivated and how to keep your goals and how to really become the best, healthiest version of yourself when you can, even when you're super hungry, even when you have a lot of pressure around you. So I'm going to recap them for you. 1 is to identify the 2 needs that move you. You have to watch the video from the beginning if you want to know about that. The second thing is really find a picture of your healthiest self. Find a picture that inspires you. Really look at it and write down, how would you feel when you become that person? And if it could be something in the past, it could be somebody, if you have felt like that in the past, or it could be somebody that you admire, but the human eye needs to see it so that it can make it happen. And then the third thing is to be compassionate about yourself. Really ask whether the things that you're doing are according to who you really are, who you want to be. And if that's the case, give permission to yourself to eat that extra piece of bread or eat that cake. And after, if you feel bad, really write down everything that you felt. And so that you can always remember if it was really bad, so that you don't do it again anymore. So those are my tips for today. I hope they're helpful. And please, guys, comment. If you have any questions, send me messengers. I'm there to help you, to support you. And if you find, or if you see other women that might be attracted to this type of group, that you think this might help, please share the group with them. And so with that, I'm going to say goodbye. Somebody is watching. I don't know. I couldn't see you, but kisses. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.